Here we go. 2024 is here. This is the kickoff into the new year, and I couldn't be more excited. Obviously, 2023, a great year. Lots of new releases, and I'm hoping for yet another good year for the Disney Cars line from Mattel. Just want to see the hobby continue to flourish behind Cars on the Road, and hopefully we get some new content down the road as well. Now, this is going to be a little messy and weird, as it kind of usually is. Of course, last year, the reason for that, Case A got canceled. Now, this year, Case A is kind of in a void. I don't know where it's at right now, but it seems like Case B is the prominent first case to hit retail, to hit resellers, all that good stuff. A lot of people in Australia are finding this case in full, and GetMeCollecitlbes got in the half case of Case B that will be showing up at Walmart, I would presume, pretty soon. It is scheduled for December 1st, so we're ahead of schedule, but in terms of Case A, that was scheduled for November 1st. We are a little bit behind schedule. So yeah, like I said, messy, but we're just going to lean into it. You know, I don't love unboxing these half cases because, of course, we're missing out on half of the contents, but I work with what's available, and this is what's available. The full case simply is not available for me to purchase, and I do not have the resources to travel down to Australia, get a full case from a store, and bring it back. Hopefully you can understand why, but this is still going to be a great time. Of course, you could argue that those Easter cars I unboxed were technically the kickoff into 2024, but that is just such a weird thing, the Easter cars right now, that I'm not including it. This is the main line. This is what we really are here for. I'm not fully sure what's inside this box. You know, I'm not entirely sure, so I'm very excited to get into it, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, I did touch on GetMeCollecitlbes. That's where this case came from. He's the only one in the United States who has this right now. I don't believe Case B has really shown up anywhere stateside at retail. I'm sure it will very soon, but right now, Target's on Case M, Walmart's on Case L and M. And that is where we stand right now in the US. Hopefully, some of this 2024 stuff will hit American, European stores, Canadian stores very soon. Because I want it to be a great year in which we don't have to complain about distribution and availability and all that stuff. You know, if there's going to be a lot of new cars, we want them to be universally and widely available. So we're going to start off the year, as we always do, the right way, with a Lightning McQueen. And this is a new packaging for Rust-eze Lightning McQueen, even though, of course, we've gotten him a couple times now from Thailand. So it's not a new variant, but while those yellow trims on the wheels do look kind of new, I don't think they are, but that looks kind of interesting and exciting. Of course, very accurate to, you know, what he looks like there, but not every Piston Cup racer who has that secondary color on their wheels and the trim got it. You know, a lot of the, OGs, Mattel was just like, nah, just make it one color. And so now it's good to see them kind of making them more accurate. So this is a cool release. I've always liked the artwork that Rust-eze McQueen has. There should be a dash in between Rust and Ease, though. That always freaks me out, but I guess that's not how they even do it on the car itself. So you can't complain too much. But yeah, this is going to be the packaging for everything and anything in 2024. I feel like I said 2023 when I meant to say 2024. It's very possible I did. Anyways, yes, Cars on the Road, Cars 3, Cars 2, Tokyo Mater, Cars 1, all is going to be on this package. There isn't going to be any other side packagings unless, it's outside of the main line. And that, applies to 2-packs as well. There still are not going to be deluxes this year. Now on the back, this is where we get into the meat and potatoes. Of course, as seen in Cars 3, that's correct. Maybe we can have a year in which everything that they do in terms of that is accurate. Like everything that says, as seen in Cars 3, everything on these card backs actually is from the movie it states. They did a good job this year, but Breaker Boggs appeared on a Cars on the Road pack. Packaging. Wow, I can't believe I actually said that out loud, but that's actually kind of a cool word, the packaging. Yeah, it's the back of the packaging, right? But other than that, they did a pretty good job with it. So as you can see here, we have Zeen Racing Tractor, who I believe is in the full case B, but it does not look like he will be in this half version, unfortunately. Then we have Bill. We'll see if he's in here. We have Rust-eze Cruz Ramirez, Jackson Storm, Eric Breaker, and Heyday Smokey. So I believe all of these are in the full version of Case B, but we're going to have to go through the half version to see which of them, made the cut, if you will. So next up here is Kevin Shiftright, the Clutch Aid Piston Cup racer from Cars 1. So similar story to Rust-eze McQueen, new packaging, but not a new Thailand variant. And it's really cool to see Mattel leaning into, the original Piston Cup racers from the first movie, because it certainly seems like they've forgotten that Cars 3 had any stock cars. They have not really done any Cars 3 stock cars in quite some time. It's kind of crazy, like even the standards like Cal Weathers or Bobby Swift, which used to be very household names, like they got releases every year up until like 2020, 2021. And then they just completely were like, now we're done with these. And it's kind of disappointing because there's a lot of potential there and there's a lot of fans of that, including myself. But what they really care about are the originals and the next gens, no in between for them. But yeah, this is a cool inclusion for sure. I'm sure it'll be very popular. And I bet Epic Green Thunder will be happy with this one, as he's a big Clutch Aid fan. Me personally, I do not like this sponsor relative to the rest of them. I think I would have cut it out for Cars 3 instead of cutting out like Taco Mint. But hey, that's why, I'm not in charge. I don't make the decisions. Now on the back here, we have some really interesting stuff. Lightning McQueen from Cars 1. Todd the Pizza Plant truck is on this car back, looking really nice. Now we know that he technically was in the last case of 2023. He's in the first case of 2024 as well. Now, is that just a carryover, or will he technically be considered a 2024 release? I feel like the only way we will know is by seeing the poster for 2024 and seeing what Mattel kind of classifies it as. I don't even think, the card back for the Todd in Case A has yet to be revealed. Like, we haven't seen that yet, but I would guess it's going to be identical to the Case M version. Like, there's no way there's a card variant from one case, like two cases back to back. So I know that's a little tangent there, but just wanted to give my thoughts on Todd. Either way, great release. You have Mater with the working tow hook. I think, Sheriff, Sally, and then Halt and Gas here, the retread racer, getting another release. He's gotten a lot, so I think, he could definitely be cut out. Like, I love retread, don't get me wrong, one of my top fives, but we've had enough of him over the last few years. Now, a common trend for much of this year is going to be Kevin versus Kevin. Kevin Racingtire versus Kevin Shiftright. I can't believe they are including both Kevins. And also, this dates back, but why did Pixar, of all the names, you have 36 Piston Cup racers. Do you really need two Kevins? Did they do that intentionally to make it maybe more realistic? I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, Kevin Racingtire always has kind of been, the short end of the stick guy. He was released in 2015, and that was the first time he got the pink variant. And then he got released in late 2019, Blue Desert, as a Thailand variant. And now he's back. I can't quite tell if this is the same as the 2019 version. It looks a little pinker, if I'm being real. But who knows? Someone will definitely have to open up. Maybe I will, actually. That's probably going to be a video you'll see on the channel, is a review of this. From Thailand, you'll probably see Kevin Shiftright as well. I haven't done him before. I want to do Lee Revkins as well. So definitely some of those, original Piston Cup racers who I haven't done from Thailand yet. But yeah, this is cool to see on a good card. Definitely will be popular, and more popular than Shiftright Clutch Aid because of, the rarity and just, how recently they've both been released. Same exact card back as Kevin Shiftright there. Next up, we have Heyday Smokey. This is a heavy one. Wow, I don't remember Heyday Smokey ever being this heavy. Like, maybe the Chinese version of him had a plastic bed. But yeah, Heyday Smokey has been released from Thailand before. So this isn't anything too crazy. But it's great to see. Like, Smokey's a classic character. And honestly, we have not gotten too much of him lately. The art does kind of look like regular Smokey, though. Like, it doesn't look as, Heyday as it probably should. Doesn't look as maroon. Looks more orange, but still it gets the job done. Very happy to see this character back. A mainstay of Cars 3 that I feel like is almost getting forlorn at this point. Kind of weird to say that, but I feel like Smokey is literally on the verge of forlornness. But he's got the best dang garage in town. This is one of those ones that looks a little strange on the Red Riders packaging, though, just because of how similar his color is to the background. And on the back, we have a very similar card back to Rust-eze Lightning McQueen, but instead of him, it shows Rust-eze McQueen. You just swapped out him for Smokey. So there you have that. Next up is going to be Fillmore here. So this one will be interesting to see. I'm very curious to flip this one over because Fillmore has been released like this with the red packaging behind the blister, the red box behind the blister, in 2023 several times in several cases. So we'll be able to tell if this is just a carryover from last year or it's going to be a completely new card variant. But either way, not a new release by any stretch of the imagination. Let's see. Wow, it is a card variant. That's pretty crazy, guys. I really am inclined to go get my current Fillmore from 2023 and show it to you. And I probably will at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that because this is a card variant. And yeah, whether you like it or not, it's different. Completionists will have to buy this. I mean, this is, wow. This is technically, full-on 2024 release. So this is what I was talking about with Todd. Will Todd be this way? Have a completely different packaging from his 2023 Case M release. That's what we're going to be looking for, and it's possible, but I could also see, it not being that way. So it's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. I would have rather it not been different, to be completely honest, just because I'm running out of space to store all this stuff. It's getting ridiculous. Here we go. This one's really good. We have a brand new Thailand variant of Radiator Springs Lightning McQueen. Haven't seen this guy in a long time, right? So it's great to have him back. He was released from Vietnam, I should say. And I actually have that version right here. I always have it in the background of my videos. And I don't like it at all. It's kind of an ugly variant. That's why I have it out. And don't care if it gets dusty. This new version, I can tell, already looks way better. It's a chrome metallic instead of the finishes we got from China and Vietnam. So this is one that I definitely will look to review at some point down the road. It won't be a priority right now, but I do want to do that. And he looks really good. The expression looks good. The decals look pretty clear. Oh, those contingency sponsors look awful. So good to know that in almost 6 years of making cars in Thailand, they haven't really gotten better at those. But yeah, I mean, it still looks good. I'm excited about it. Not a new release, but a new Thailand variant, and the only one in Case B. On the back, you have the exact same card back for the most part that we've been seeing. Next up is Eric Breaker here. So another one that I would say, I don't know, I've always heard with Hot Wheels that they kind of release a lot of the same castings every year, just repaint them. I feel like they do that with the Disney cars as well. Eric Breaker, we've seen a lot. He was released in the Blue Desert era. I think that was late 2019. We've seen him in a 2-pack with little Torquey Pistons Next Gen, Spiky Phillips, multiple times. And now he's back as a single. So I wouldn't call this a very welcome release, but I'm glad, I'll take him over Paul Conrev or Tim Treadless or Ryan Inside Lane, any of those ones that we just got last year. He looks nice, really pops off the red background there for sure. But yeah, definitely nothing really to write home about. The Thailand variant looks fine. It's kind of got a metallic green going on, which the Chinese version certainly doesn't. And yeah, this is another one that I probably will review at some point just because it's been a while, and obviously I never did do the Thailand version. See, his contingency sponsors in white there look really good. They look really clear. This might be a really solid Thailand variant all in all. So yeah, I probably will review this. This card isn't in perfect condition. It looks good, but I could feel there's a little crease there in the bottom corner. On the back, again, you got the same stuff. They just switched things around to, not include the one you're holding. which is smart. Like, that is how it should be done, but it's not always how they've done it. So it's something to take note of. It's the small victories in life, right? Next up is Rusty Cornfuel here. So another OG Piston Cup racer. A lot of people will be excited about him. I've always loved his artwork ever since we saw it on that 2015 or whatever, 2015, 2016 Movie Moments set pack, which is really just a single with an accessory. It looks really good. I kind of have this as a pretty mid sponsor. It's nothing Taco Mint level greatness, but it's not Clutch Aid or Little Torquey Levels bad. But this is not a new Thailand variant. It's just on new packaging. And I know we've said that for everything so far in this case, but I am making that distinguish mint because, or whatever you want to call it, that differentiation. Because technically Fillmore here, face to face, is the same as last year, except for the card back. So there's a difference, between like new packaging, outright, and then kind of having a variant like Fillmore there. But yeah, his last release was in 2021. He debuted in the case with Nick Shift. I think that was case H. I think Clovis Ryder might have also been in that case. So yeah, it's cool to see back, but there are definitely other Piston Cup racers that people are clamoring to see. Ones that they've never done from Thailand. Eugene Carbureski, Ernie Gearsten. I don't think they'll ever re-release Dale Earnhardt Jr., but he's up there. And then there's other ones that they just haven't done in a while. I think a lot of people would take Claude Scruggs or Chuck Armstrong. And the card back. So it looks like they really aren't churning the card backs all that much. Like, we're seeing Hall Ingas on all of these, but I'm not seeing Kevin Shiftright, Kevin Racingtire, or Rusty really on any of these. So that's a little strange to me. Kind of reminds me of how the cards got in 2022 toward the end of the year. Like, they just kept the same, and didn't churn. Churn's a good thing that they did do in 2023. Like, they absolutely did that. So yeah, there is Rusty Cornfuel, the toe cap racer. Next up is the Demolition Derby racer, Bill. So this guy looks really good. Again, though, I know I'm saying this a lot, but he's been released recently. I know he's released in 2020 from Thailand. He might have gone, oh man, I'm straining the brain. He's not been released. Oh my gosh, I feel like there was another release either in 2021 or 2022. I know for sure he was released in 2020. Either way, Bill's been released before from Thailand, so no need to go nuts. But I've always liked this guy. Obviously, he's a reference to the Pixar ball Easter egg that's in every movie, just like Todd the Pizza Planet truck is. And he's a really good Thailand variant. Like, I really want to open up one of these as well. So yeah, Bill's looking good. Simple. I work with a Bill, so this one's really, it really hits home. And on the back, you got same old, but they switched out Bill for whoever, they didn't have on the other ones. They have like a core of 7 or 8 that they kind of switch around on these Cars 3 card backs. But the Cars 1 card backs, like, we're seeing a lot that's just stagnant on there, and we're not like pulling them out of the case. You know what I mean? Like, everything like Hall and Gas, Cars 1 McQueen, Sally, we haven't even gotten to any of those yet. So yeah, it's a mid-release. I'll take it, I guess. It's early in the year. All right, next up is Tumbleweed Lightning McQueen. I'm pretty sure you can predict what I'm going to say. It's like, all right, it's good to see him back. Card looks good. I like the artwork. I've always liked it for Tumbleweed McQueen, but he's been released from Thailand very recently in 2020. Again, I do kind of feel like there was another release for him in there, but yeah, he's been released from China quite a few times, so this isn't, anything earth-shattering. I know I'm saying that a lot, but it really is the definition of case B. It's like, yeah, if you could make a slogan for this, nothing earth-shattering, nothing groundbreaking. But yeah, I like this guy. He's cool. It looks good. I think I might have a custom where someone removed the broccoli, the tumbleweed, of course, and like use this to make a different McQueen, or just maybe like a regular McQueen with a different expression. Not really sure. That just looks super familiar. Contingency sponsors don't look great. And yeah, man, when are they ever going to make that tumbleweed look a little bit better? because it is, oh my God, it is a, like, literally a piece of broccoli. Like, I bet, you go, those, like, playhouses or whatever when you're young and you're, like, play cooking and stuff like that, and you have, like, a asparagus and you have an onion, a plastic onion or whatever, and then you pull out the plastic broccoli. I mean, that's literally what this is, right? And on the back, I mean, it's the same old story. I don't understand. We're not seeing really any of these cars. None of those 6 have been in this case, and yet we're looking at them. So I find that weird. Maybe they're in the other half of case B. I know Todd isn't. Maybe the other ones are, though. So that is just something to keep note of for sure. And then here we have Rust-eze Cruz Ramirez, who we saw on the card back. So it's kind of strange. Almost all of the Cars 3 characters that we see on this packaging, right, are in this case, but almost all of these ones aren't. That really is strange to me. Obviously, Zeen Racing Tractor is not, but everyone else has been. Oh, and not Jackson Storm, but who cares about him? But yeah, Rust-eze Cruz Ramirez. Been released many times from Thailand. This is a new card, though. So definitely take note of that. New packaging for Rust-eze Cruz Ramirez. All right, and last but not least, well, I'm sure you tuned in for the new release of the case and the only new release of the case. Of course, we did have the new Thailand variant of Radiator Springs McQueen, but this is an actual new character never released before, and they make sure you know that by designating it as such. New for 2024. Whenever they have a snipe like this, a new for 2024, whatever year snipe, they are never able to stick with it. Remember back in 2015, they released Road Repair Lightning McQueen, I think in like case C of that year. It was like the 3rd case, and it was, believe it or not, I think it was like the first new release of that year. Actually, no, it wasn't. No, because case B had Determined McQueen and Jumpstart J Ward. So it was the, okay, whatever. Either way, they had a snipe on the blister that said new for 2015, right? And that was literally the only release that ever had that snipe. It was comical. It's like you really designated one of the weakest new releases as new, and then like as the cases went on, let me think of a 2015 release. Yeah, like so Brett Warren Wagon, Paul Oakley, Manny Rodriguez, Sajan Korea, etc. They did not get that treatment at all. Only Road Repair McQueen did. And yeah, they've proven to kind of do that this year. They did a good job with the Cars on the Road stuff, but everything for Cars on the Road, like the first time it got released, it was new, right? So it's not like there was not much room to screw up there. Like it would have been hard to mess up. Like because everything was the first time you were releasing it, it was new. So it's not like you had to really deliberate all that much on if you had to put the snipe on the packaging. So that logic extends to here. And so we'll see. I mean, is every new release this year going to be from Cars on the Road? It's certainly possible. Everything was from Cars on the Road for 2023, aside from Breaker Boggs, who I don't believe they designated as new. Anyways, yeah, Roadette Marker. The Suki clown, basically, because she shares the same model as Suki, Harumi, Chisaki, and Ichigo. Although this is the Thailand version, I think it might be a little smaller than the Chinese release. And we'll do a comparison. I'll review Roadette very soon, and we'll compare her to all 4 of those of the Tokyo girls and all that. I also have the Mini Racer Roadette that they did last year as a harbinger to the 155 scale version. It is, pretty easy to predict this one. They already had the model, cast. Super easy to just repaint. A lot of people do not like this expression, and yeah, I mean, it's not great or anything, but I'll take it. It's a dopey looking clown, and it's kind of how clowns go, right? I do like the expression more, though, on the packaging. But yeah, this is cool. Like, yeah, I mean, it gets the job done. We'll always remember 2024 as starting with Roadette Marker. Like, I feel like the most memorable releases, or like the way you kind of classify and look back upon a year, are by the first and the last new releases. Like I think of 2015, and I think immediately of like Ryan Shields and Corey Turbowitz and Chauncey Fairs as like some of the first cars in that year. And I think of Brett Warren Wagon and Paul Oakley, Jay Ward, and Bumper Save Pity as the last releases there. Oh, and Mike Fuse, right? And I think of 2016, Transforming McQueen, Autobahn, Leakless, Davey Apex, and I think to the end of that year with M.A. Brake Drum and Coriander Y Track and Brad Windmiller, all of which from the same series in the same case. Fun fact, my memory is just crazy with some stuff like this. But anyways, yeah, we'll always look upon 2024 as like, oh yeah, that was the Roadette Marker year, and then whoever gets released last. At least that's how I do it. Cars on the Road. The only Cars on the Road release in this half case. That's very strange. Again, I will leave the full case contents in the description below so you can check to see if the full version has anything else, to spark your interest or whatnot. But in this half version, this is all you're getting from the show. Kind of crazy. Really interestingly balanced. Like you could say, oh, wow, that's good balance. Cars 1, Cars 3, Cars on the Road. I mean, does Cars 2 even exist? I'm not sure. We are getting Cars 2 stuff this year, so it's not, completely written off. And you could even say like, oh yeah, Fillmore is technically a Cars 2 release. Yeah, get off my lawn. Yeah, you're joking me. Anywho, you have Road Trip McQueen on the back here. He kind of looks different for whatever reason. Pit Stoposaurus, we know he'll be out. Cryptid Buster McQueen, or Cryptid Buster Mater. You know what? I did look at this case beforehand. I think there are 3 cars that are new to the case in some way, shape, or form that aren't in this half case. Otis being one of them, Cryptid Buster Mater being another one, and I think there might be a third, but I know those 2 for sure are in the full version of this case. I don't think any of these ones are, being Mato, Mallory Carhut, and Adam Rodriguez. So a lot of these Cars on the Road characters that they debuted in 2023 are getting second chances. And that's a really good thing. I mean, especially for Adam Rodriguez and Cryptid Buster Mater. Those were very rare. Pit Stoposaurus, Mallory Carhut, really not rare at all, especially Mallory. Mato, fairly rare, but not nearly on the levels of Adam Rodriguez or Quadratorcastar, who we will be getting in the next case. So that is all she wrote for this one, guys. Let me know in the comment section below, what the hell is your favorite character? What's your favorite release from this case? Who are you most looking forward to? I will allow you to look at the full list down there and pick someone from that, but I do think this case does a pretty good job. This half case does a pretty good job of representing the whole case. And unless you want Otis or Cryptid Buster Mater, in which case, yeah, I mean, you're kind of out of luck. But you got a lot of piston cut racers. The main thing is that it includes the new release of Roadette and the Thailand variant of Radiator Springs McQueen. Like, if anything, this case had to have those, right? If you're going to do these half cases, you need to include the new stuff, and they did in this case. So good job. Whoever makes those decisions, by the way, I like to rant a lot, whether that's Mattel, whether Walmart has some input on it. Obviously, again, as we've touched on, they can't just do like 12 West Philanthopuses. That case would probably cost double the amount this case costs just because of the weight and, how intricate that casting is. And I understand that, but there's got to be a happy medium to it, in terms of like the cost analysis and all that. But anyways, I'll be back very soon with a review of Roadette Marker, some Easter cars, new color changers, some really good stuff coming on the channel. I spent like half an hour trying to check out with Color Changers DJ and Cruisin' McQueen today. That was a lot of fun, and I am, happy that I honestly, it's like, why do I ever try and find new stuff in a store? Because I just get punished, right? I have to stand in line for half an hour because the items aren't even in their system yet, right? I'll rant about that later, but seriously, it's fun. Like, it's crazy. You get punished for finding something early. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Bye now. Don't worry, guys. I didn't forget about poor old Fillmore here. So let me ask you, which one is the 2023 release and which one is the 2024 release that we just pulled from the case? Yeah, you can't tell. You literally cannot tell. They are identical except for the card backs. That's 2023. That's 2024. So like I said, completionists, people who buy literally everything, as long as it's just the smidge most different, will have to pick up this card variant because, yeah, I mean, it reflects 2024 releases, whereas this one reflects 2023 releases, even though some of them are the same. So there you guys go. I wanted to show you that. Again, we will look to see if that applies to Todd, the Pizza Planet truck, and maybe some of these other ones that were just released, a couple cases ago in the 2023.